Hey, Royals, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about dating with intention, building respect, support, and partnership before marriage. We have a full panel today of four beautiful ladies. In addition to myself, I will have them quickly introduce themselves, starting with the co host, and then we will get started.
Hi, everybody. It's Rashonda, and happy Taco Tuesday, everybody.
On a taco.
Yes, taco.
MVP.
I we had tacos today.
So jealous. MVP, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm MVP, and yes, happy Taco Tuesday with a margarita.
Period. I could have used one of those. Hi.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kai, and I'm definitely with the margaritas with the side of taco.
Right. Cider taco. We should have had margaritas. Next show.
Next
Deb,
show.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Delicious Designs by D, and I'm jealous about the tacos. Thanks.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, because you're not in Cali anymore. We're so sorry.
I'm the true Mexican here. Don't worry about it. I got me as soon as we're done.
I cannot. So let's get started. And each of them will give you their social media handles so that you can follow them and go subscribe on all their social media platforms. And they'll tell you a little more about themselves as we close out. And I will make sure and tag them on posts for this show throughout. Make sure on the way in that you subscribe, like, and share this live. So today, Dayton is a hot mess. Everybody wants love, and not everybody wants to do it the right way, though. So, dating with intention is the right way. Respect, support aren't just for marriage, they actually start before. They start during the dating stage. So, tonight we're going to talk about how men and women can show up, meet each other's needs, and build something real that actually turns into marriage because we're dating with intent. So I will start with the first segment, and that is going to be on mindset shift. Now, Farrell is married, and I am married, and I believe that the ladies have been in long-term relationships as well. So we have a kind of diverse package here, and so that's a good thing. So we'll get our perspective as we go throughout. Y'all ready? And make sure you comment and tell yours as well. So buckle up. Y'all ladies ready?
We ready. We stay ready.
Trigger
Yes,
warning, as Rose
ma'am.
would say, trigger warning. When we give examples according to what we've been through or seen, it is not personal. How can we get to the root if we won't dig the root up and fix it? So, the first one is dating isn't for free meals or casual fun. It's actually to turn into marriage. So, my question is, ladies, in the social media space, how do you feel that that in particular has really been marketed in social media? How you think it shows up in social media? Dating for casualty or for a free meal?
I
And
think I think that a lot of women do that nowadays. I used to didn't think that they did because a lot of women nowadays make so much money. You don't need a man to take you out for a free meal.
Mhm.
But in this, I think the younger generation, like the social media generation, I think they do now. And now that's what men actually think that women just want to go out for a fancy meal, not just a free meal, but like a fancy meal. I honestly do think social media made that a thing. I
Mhm.
think so.
I
Not
agree.
with us. I don't know how old everybody else is, but the younger generation, I think so.
I
okay,
definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. I feel like our men have become more feminine,
Hmm.
and women are taking advantage of the
ah,
good guys sometimes. And I'm gonna say it too, the younger generation, the roles are reversing. It seems like the men are. I don't know if it's maybe not having enough father figures or not enough male figures around, but I think this generation of men have become very feminine, a lot of feminine traits. And I
Hmm.
think women, the younger generation, and I'm gonna even go far as saying a lot of this, what is it, the those TV shows, all that
Reality.
oh, the
yeah,
reality TV.
all the reality TV, all that fancy life, all that rap stuff, it's giving people a false narrative of what dating and love is.
Mhm.
And I think that has a lot to do with the going back and forth. Men don't want to pay, women want you to pay, women You know, it's just a lot of going back and forth of unnecessary, and no one is being genuine and being honest for what they really want. And no one's going to find love because everyone is searching for the wrong things. They're looking for something that's not real. You know, oh, you got to pay all my bills. I'm not dating a man without a job, and I'm not saying necessarily date a man that's broke or not doing
Right.
it for himself, but I'm saying, you know, if you go into this like, oh, he got to have 6 figures. Well, sweetie, you're not going to get that right off the top. Sometimes you got to build with a person to get that. You know, and what are you bringing to the table?
Okay. Kai, how do you feel about that as our younger person with some sense?
Well, I'll say I may be a little bit okay, because I am a little bit younger, so I'm not, I can't say I'm like a 20-year-old. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my early 30s. And I've dated and I have stopped dating currently, due to the climate of everything and the confusion. I do feel like a lot of people date just for a quick fix to fill a
Mm,
void. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things have turned transactional. There's no intention, there's no level of actual liking. I feel like a
mm.
lot of people are just wanting to get a quick little,
Mm-hmm.
rocks off, I guess you can say, without going too deep into it. But so I think it's the perspective. I will say courting is no longer a thing. It's just like a Tinder swipe. If you like me, let's hook up. But I will say, I mean, I have dated older men, and I feel
Okay.
like they kind of on that side too. I think a lot of people don't know who they are, and they don't know their self-worth. So when it comes down to value, if you don't have value in yourself, yes, you spending money on me is going to seem like an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like why should I beg for crumbs when I can buy the loaf? And I will say also, I was raised with my father and my grandfather and my
Okay.
great grandfather. So
Mm-hmm.
I will say
Nice.
I do have a perspective where it comes from. Like, no, you don't take the crumbs. No, let me show you how you are supposed to be valued and treated. And I think that's something that's lacking in the community today.
Oh, definitely.
Wow. So let me say this. So we'll go into the next one because something you said bridge to the next one. So the next one is intentional dating and what it means. It means clear communication, it means boundaries, and it means having standards. Something that I want to set the bar for. I don't know how everybody else was raised, but she just brought up something very good. A lot of times the narrative is, oh, you women are bitter and you were raised by bitter single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say that you should probably ask the woman. That's first of all, and ask your woman that you're dating, because I was actually raised with men in my ear. So it was my twin uncles who are only 10 years older than me. So they're telling me everything as I'm going along. I was raised with a lot of male cousins, god brothers. They have the bigger influence in how I look at males because they told me different things to look out for. So while a lot of you are wondering why we have the playbook, so to speak, it's not necessarily that we've been in horrible relationships. It's been that men have told us and we have seen. So be mindful of that when you're dealing with a woman that a woman or man probably put her up on game. So as it relates to intentional dating, Des, since this is something you're currently really looking at, how important are the standards that you have and how they're respected?
Extremely important. So much important that it doesn't really take me long. I don't understand what
Okay.
y'all are taking so long about. If you take sex out of it and you're truly getting to know this person for the end game of a relationship and marriage, and you see how they move and how they treat themselves and then how they treat you, I promise you, 7 days. It's either going somewhere or it's not. 7 days.
Oh,
And
wow.
90 days if I give you the shot, right?
Okay.
Okay.
That's if you get the shot. But
Okay.
it takes 7 days for me to even real. It don't even take 7, but I'm gonna give you 7. I'm gonna
So your
give you
meter goes
7.
off at its height within those 7 days and you see things. And then the 90 days is to establish if you want to even move. That's your courting time.
Correct. Because I believe within 6 months you need to know what you're trying to do, and by the end of the year we should be married if you want some of this pretty time. And so if you don't, I'm okay with clink clinking. It's okay that you want to share you. But if you're not dating with the intention of that expected end of marriage, so that we can grow our empire together, then you're wasting my energy.
Mm.
So one of the things, I'll comment on this one. I didn't comment on the last one. I'll comment on this one. The one that sticks out the most for me with intentional dating, and that's the hardest in my adult years prior to me getting married. So prior to me getting married, to know if I really want to be married, because I hadn't dated much, I carved out a time to specifically go on and date, right? And did the social media thing or the dating websites thing. What I found that was the most difficult was the boundaries and the standards that I had, because I did not birth children yet. I had never lived with a man. It was so many things that other people in my age group had done. And at that age, I was 34. I was 34 at that age. And so for me to ask for children, there were some men that were like, I'm already done with children. I don't want any children. Okay, so that automatically knocked that person out, no matter how much I like them. To Dez's point, it was okay. Thank you so much for being honest and moving forward. Well, why can't we just enjoy my kids? So the conversation's over. Like, that's crazy, because that's a boundary. Why would you think that you should cross that boundary and I should accept something so high as a child not having one because you already, have yours and yours are older? Another thing was living with men. I had no desire to live with a man before I got married. And that's something else they couldn't understand, because most of them, in addition to if they had children, if they didn't have kids, then they already lived with the woman, even if they moved in with her, because a lot of them had their own place. That was like one of my requirements at that time. And they didn't understand the not shacking up. They thought that you should live together before you get married. It's not wrong outside of a biblical sense. For me, I didn't want to enter marriage in living with somebody before. If I made it all the way to that age and hadn't done it, I was like, why get to the finish line and you could actually have some things that make you feel good about yourself? I don't feel like if you're intentionally dating somebody, you should not be okay with and respect the boundaries that they have. And to close, the crazy part, y'all, they actually loved those things. And that's why they wanted to go on a date with me, because I would have been the first one to have a kid by them. I would be the first one to live with them. But what they didn't like is that boundary and those standards apply to them, no matter how much money they made or what they were bringing to the table. Those was like my two top things I didn't want to let go of, because I made it so close. I think that's crazy. Why do people respect, oh my God, I love that they do this thing. I love that he's a good father. But then if you date him, you upset because he got to be with his kids. Like, why do you think that people love standards and boundaries, but just not when they apply to them with you?
I think that's because people feel entitled.
Well, that sums it up.
Yeah, that's really it.
They just,
that's crazy.
Why would that apply to me? Because I'm such a great guy or I'm such a great woman. I don't. Why wouldn't you want to come live with me? What do you mean you're going to spend time with your kids and not me today? Yeah, you're a great father, but what does that mean? It's entitlement. You feel like I'm the better choice. So why wouldn't you break your little rules or your boundaries for me? I'm the winner.
And I love that you said it like that. Because, friend, that's how I feel that they used to be talking to me, like that's just your little stuff. But then I would be wrong, because I did with one person. I would be wrong if I said, you wouldn't like it if I told you that you should have never had kids out of wedlock, and I think you're wrong as hell. Because my little, that's not nice. And then you don't want me to say nothing to you. So what if I said it to that same tone to you? And then you don't like how it feels. And then I'm being, what was I called? I was too independent. Then they went into that whole spiel, all because you disrespected me. And all I did was fed it back so you could see how that would feel if I thought that way. And I don't. You couldn't even handle the if, but you just said it to me like it was nothing.
And I think that when women feel like that, you have your boundaries. I think that you should never shift. Or if you like somebody, be like, oh, I'll just get this person to try, because once you do that, then you'll wish you never did that. Like, and I'm a little bit this.
Yeah.
I'm a living witness. Look, so I'm telling y'all, I had the same. I basically said the same thing as Asia. I didn't have my son until I was 39. So I felt the same way. I really didn't want nobody that had kids. I
Uh-huh.
always said that. I was like, I didn't want to be nobody baby mama. I had certain things like you had to have this, you had to have that. Like it was just like that. And I always wanted kids, but after I didn't have them and I was way past, once I hit 35 and I didn't have kids, I was just like, okay, I'm just not gonna have kids. But if I do date somebody that got kids, I want them to be adults. So I still
Right.
have my boundaries and how I felt like you should be. I said I didn't want to live with nobody. I was like, I've been living by myself since I was in my 20s. So
Mm-hmm.
why would I want to live with somebody now? I can take care of myself. I don't. But sometimes I do feel like you should live with somebody before they get married, even if it's like 2 months just to see. Because I do feel like sometimes people change when you live together and you might not like that person. But I still felt like I didn't want to do it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, what if you don't like how that person is when you live together?
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was
when
okay with doing it after I got engaged. So I feel like once you're engaged
okay,
and you set a
yeah.
date, then it's a little bit different. But I mean, just
But dating
dating,
before,
no.
yeah, okay, yeah. And so me just was like, oh, okay, let me just try with this one person. I tell everybody that I know that's younger, like, don't do that shit. Don't do it. Like, if you got your standards, keep it. Keep it. Do not change for nobody, no matter who they are, because you will regret it. Like, you will regret it. So if they say you got high standards and all that, oh well. Like, it'll be somebody that'll appreciate it. They always would say, like, you're one in a million. You got a good job. You don't got no kids. You live by yourself. This. I had all that.
I
And
hear
then,
all of that until it applies to them. Then
Right.
I've been called some
exactly.
very interesting stuff that has really hurt my feelings. Like, what did
One,
I do?
my
I
advice.
Well,
it
that
really hurted my feelings. I just feel like I should have stayed to what I said I was gonna do, and I would
Right.
be, even if I was gonna still be by myself, it would have been somebody that wanted to be with me, but it would make you have regrets. So that's my take on it. Like, don't never fold for nobody because you will regret it.
Yes,
I'm glad I
ma'am.
didn't. I'm
I would
glad.
say this. If there's something about a person that you cannot see yourself doing forever, don't do it because they're not going to
Yeah.
change. And I say this, and I love my husband dearly. Hey, baby. But there's a couple of habits and things that he had in the beginning that annoyed me some. And I'm just like, oh, but this and that. And now 10 years in the game, I want to choke him out.
That
You know,
part.
so
But the love outweighs.
it does. It definitely does. And then we're learning now to compromise with certain things
Mhm.
too. But had I don't think I would have chosen someone else, but there were some things that maybe I could have fixed earlier on or wouldn't have gone for. We could have nipped in the bud.
So that's a good one. So y'all keep bridging to the next one. That's a good one. So the next part, segment 2. How can men date intentionally? So the clarity thing, she just said it. Actually the first one for men. So being clear. Let me show a video real quick and then we will go into part 2. Did I load that video? Blood of Jesus. I don't think that I did. Okay. I don't think that I did. So you're going to have to hold on. I can always improvise. That is funny as hell. Only me. I promise. What had happened was my hair had came in. And I ran to the P.O. box to pick it up. And then I said, hey, girl. Okay, so listen. Oh, y'all not going to believe this shit. I don't have the video. So let me tell you.
Tell us about
This
it.
is
oh,
no, I want y'all to hear because I know how I got it. I got it on IG. Here we go.
okay.
Here we go. Hold on 1 second. And then I'm gonna cut it up. Okay. Hold on. This can't be real. I did not mess up this bad. Hold on, y'all. I really want you to hear this video because I want you to hear. There it is. I want you to hear how ridiculous this man sounds. Okay, hold on. It is.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because we vibing, raw, going on dates, taking trips.
She said, just because you're doing all of those things don't mean you're dating. So just because we effing raw, going on dates, taking trips, we're vibing, we're laying up, we're telling each other secrets. He went down a whole list of stuff you do as an intimate couple and said, that don't mean, yeah, don't get stuck. That don't mean that we together like that.
A lot of men think like that now. And a lot of women think like that now too.
Well,
A lot of
this
men.
section is for men. This section is for men. We're gonna get to
Okay,
women.
so man, a lot of men think like that. And they say, long as I didn't tell you that we were together, we're not together. It don't matter if you think we together. A lot of men think like that.
And that's why you have no business raw dogging with no one.
Ex-
Go to bed. Go to bed. Keep your damn legs closed. What
Mhm.
in the hell? What is that? You gonna tell me some effing stuff like that? Are you kidding me?
But y'all know not being clear is still a lie. If you know that somebody that you are leading them to believe that you are doing all the things and showing up in that space, and that is what they believe, when you knew that they believed it, you
You
also were
should have
supposed to correct them. That makes you a bad person, but that's not clarity at all.
But they not, they won't, they don't. And because a lot of times women ain't gonna say nothing. If they feel like they vibing with it and they feel like that, some of them be scared to ask because they know that they're gonna say that.
Then you're responsible on your
Yep.
own. But we're talking
Yeah.
about the men. It is your responsibility as a leader, a provider, a protector, all of those things that you are going to be clear and have clarity. And let me tell you, that's one of the main things of the twins, Uncle Ronald. I have never seen somebody be more clear than that man. When he dated, even when all the girls liked him in high school, hey man, you're not my girlfriend. I would be like, how could you
But
say
to
that?
somebody tell me the truth, I always said that, like, don't sugarcoat
Honey, they
nothing to
didn't
me.
leave him alone. They
Yeah,
just,
even if you feel like you're gonna hurt my feelings, tell me the truth and let me. If I want to still deal with you, then let me do that. But don't just sugarcoat me. Tell me the raw truth. I want the truth.
And my
I
question
I
I
is,
got a
do.
question. Yeah, go ahead, baby.
I was just gonna say I do think a lot of people are clear on a lot of things. I will say there are when we ain't got to the women part yet, so I really got more to say about the women. But when it
And
comes down to the men,
accountability.
I feel like they do know. It's just they what they call um
What is that called? Bliss.
negligence.
Happiness
They
is
like
bliss.
well, not even just that. I just feel like the men they'll just take advantage of what they can. So yeah,
Mm,
especially if they got a girl that's gonna say, "Oh, we're just friends," and he can keep her in that cycle of delusion.
Yep.
So he'll give her a little, then take away, give her a little, take it away, even if she knows. So I think my thing with the men would be to be real. And I'm not talking about telling her, because a man will tell a woman, like, I just want to just do this with you. And
okay.
they'll go get a whole nother girlfriend. I think they just need to be honest about, man, I'm tripping.
Their
Like, actually have a
intentions.
heart. I really feel like they should have a heart instead of just like trying to continue the cycle of confusion. But I think they like it. So
I think they do.
I think people need to find peace within themselves. If they can just be like, man, if I'm treating you like this, I wouldn't want nobody to treat my mom like this. I wouldn't want nobody to treat
Right.
my sister like this. So I have cousins, male cousins too. So I just think when it comes down to that, they'll just use it as a excuse, like, oh well, I told her this, but then you sitting here treating her like she the sun, the moon, and the stars in her
right.
face. But
Agreed.
I don't want to go on a tangent.
Well,
So
my
the
my
next,
question
wait,
was
who was talking?
real quick. My question in that situation to a man, if we're doing all of that, we doing all this together, right? We shacking up trips, vacation, dating, all this. How do you even have time to be with someone else? How are you balancing your time, sir? Like, how are you able to do all of this with me? You spending 99% of your time with me, and you gonna tell me I'm not your woman? Go on and go,
That
girl.
don't even make sense.
It
So
makes
why
I
sense.
want to
don't you
know.
value your time more? Why are you
Yeah,
willing to waste your time and give up your time to that capacity? Grow up.
right.
They won't give you a choice.
But what are we looking forward to?
What
If
do you
you're
mean?
giving me all of this
Mhm.
and I mean nothing to you, what do I have to look? What are you going to give in the marriage?
Right.
I think it's
What?
fun to
What?
them. I
Because
think it's a game.
We're not going to even get to
Placeholder.
marriage at this point.
yeah, I'm
You not.
good. Mm-mm.
So then I have a question about that part. So the next one is provision in principle. So not pay all my bills, but showing financial responsibility. That's for the man. I feel like these girls that show up, see, because you guys men talk about how we allow things to happen. You all allow things to happen too. This whole new thing about in order for us to go on a date, you have to send me money to get my hair and my nails, everything to prepare me for that date. You have to send me the money for it. Had you told the first heifer that told you that, no, it wouldn't have happened anymore. I don't think that that's the type of woman that you should go for, in my opinion, because what you have done is no different than a woman that completely for no reason just opens her legs on the first date and how you perceive her. That's the equivalent of how that woman perceives you when you automatically let her trick you like that. Why would you do that? I don't agree with that at all.
Then
Maybe
say that's
send
all
you an
they want you
Uber.
for is money. Then say, oh,
Right.
that's all they want me for was money. But that's how you led to get her is with your money, sir.
Or you fell into that trick. You may not have led with it, but that is a space because we're taking accountability in the things that each of us does that could lead into something else. So even if you consider it being nice, or because there are nice men out there too that be like, oh, okay, I don't mind doing it. But then when she keeps that going, and then later on you get together, she uses you for your money, she leaves you with your money, she does all these things. Take it back to that first thing. She showed you from the beginning who she was. She led with that, and you followed and accepted that. Versus, I don't see nothing wrong with sending a car for a lady. Y'all go out to a club or something in those areas that don't drive, and you send her home in an Uber, something like that. But sending her money for all of those things to get dressed, I don't agree with that. I don't even agree with
Absolutely.
offering it, because then you're leading with money. How do you think that particular area, let's talk about the good guys that get sucked up into that, how can they do better in that space and still be dating with intention and leave that money space alone where it doesn't belong?
Tell her
Well, they
bye.
can stop acting like women.
Pharaoh said, because she has a son. So it's not about acting like women. Some of us have raised our sons
No.
right. Some of us have raised our sons to be good gentlemen. And if
Exactly.
they see somebody that needs help, they're going to do it. But they need to be able to have that intuition and know not when to do it. I'm with Pharaoh from the beginning, though.
There's a difference in help and a gold digger. Okay. First of all, if if you're going out on this date with a man and you need him to get your hair, nails, and all this done just to go on this date, well, heifer, you was looking toe up all week.
Because what do we tell men if they don't have a job? Well, maybe you shouldn't be dating. Well, girl, if you don't have money for that and it ain't upkept, maybe you shouldn't be dating.
Maybe you shouldn't be dating, baby. Because
Well, I will say when it comes down to the men, because if we're still focused on the men, I don't know. Are we on both people, both genders?
We're
Are we
still
just
on male. Next one is female.
okay? I think it would be from the root of why you feel like you have to give the money, you
Right.
know? So just go back to yourself. All right, am I doing this because I actually like this girl, or am I doing it for ego purposes, how I want to be perceived? So
Right.
removing the mask and being honest, because if you give from the heart, I don't feel like it's a thing. I don't
Right.
like, I will say, for my experience, I've never asked a man for money, but I've
Right.
always got money. And so it's
Because we
just
don't have
like,
to ask. They will offer.
yeah, you don't. Like, I feel like somebody who's generous, they're going to do it. But they do also need to have the discernment to tell the difference between somebody that is a taker, like that's
and
just
so
gonna leech off of them, and then somebody who actually genuinely cares. So that goes back to discernment. So I just
Mhm.
feel like when it comes down to a lot of this, it's about you knowing yourself. Because if I'm gonna
Right.
give from myself to a man and then say it goes left, at the end of the day, I was pure from the moment I started
Right. So I
giving.
don't
And I ain't
care that
gonna
I gave it.
overgive. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna overgive. But I think that's the thing with the boys, because I have brothers, so they're
Me
very
too.
generous men too, very upstanding men. And I'm talking about they don't trick, okay? They are just
Right.
they're just great men. And so if
No,
they do
I
care about
agree.
you, they gonna spend some money.
And
I
that's
think
why Farrah was saying no from the beginning, and it's about the intent of why you're
right,
doing it.
right, because you should not even feel comfortable. If I met a man today and he says, "Hey, we're gonna go out or whatever," why do you even feel comfortable enough asking someone for those large amount of money? Like, how is that okay with you? What are you doing with yourself to make you that comfortable to be a leech? Because you're just a leech at this point. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that at all.
I don't
Yeah,
agree either, boo, because I'm
yeah,
with you. What was you doing before? How is it important for right now? And who gonna get the feel? Who's gonna do the upkeep? You should be doing those things for yourself, for
that should just be
self-care.
already.
It's already done. I don't understand that at all. Now I can understand, like, if you talking to the man, oh, what you doing? Oh, I'm getting my feet done. Oh, how much are your feet? And then they send the money. That's
Right.
how I've gotten money before, but I didn't ask for it.
Did
But
that.
that's how I got it, and I said thank you. But a first date, I
No,
have heard from my
absolutely.
brother. He told me and Ro on one of the shows that a girl told him, oh, before we go on this date. Now, mind you, he's a single father of 3, real one, with his kids all the time. She told him they could go on a date, but he have to send her money for a babysitter, the gas, and I think it was an outfit. It was 3 things, but I know babysitter was one and gas was one.
So who
You
watch
think,
kids when you go out before?
child? That's
I
why I say these men gotta have discernment. And we really got on my brother on that show and the other guy, Jojo, that was on the show, because they're very generous men. And they told us all of these stories. And we like, I would have never let you do that for a woman. Absolutely not. So there's that. So the women. Now let's move over to the women's side. Ladies, listen. Are you listening? Every answer you give has to be accountability. It can't have a but. I would do it, but you could only answer the question with accountability. So if you don't want to answer one of them, it's okay, but only accountability. Okay. Okay. So, how women can date intentionally?
Don't. Not right
Who
now.
said that?
I did. I'll say like for women, I
Don't
would
date
really
intentionally?
say
You're telling us to don't date intentionally?
no. I'm talking about just don't date. That's
Okay.
intentional. Intentionally
Okay.
don't date. That's what I'm saying. Because listen,
Okay, baby. What? Tell aunties what happened.
well, I will say I've been single for over 7 years. I have
mm,
dated. I took intentional years to just try and see what was out there and just see what I liked. I've studied myself and seen what I like from my experience. And I have very high standards. That's what I realized. And so with that, it's not even just on financial, it's more on the like inner, like how are you tapped in with God or not? Like, so it goes
Okay.
from there because that's the basis. If you got that foundation, then we got something to work with. But I'll say with the ladies, just get to know yourself, really love on you, journal, like talk to God, or whoever, you call your higher power. Get tapped in with yourself and discover what you like. And don't allow anything outside of yourself to dictate you. That's what I would tell the girls. And I do tell my younger girls because it's a lot of people broken and it's a lot of people faking it. And I mean faking a whole mask. They'll pretend like they're Prince Charming, and then
So
you then got Jekyll.
I
So just,
agree.
you know,
I agree. So that's actually a perfect segue, because a lot of us ladies, especially on this panel, have and believe in taking the time to work on ourselves before we didn't just go relationship. And through all of our relationships, each of them have a special place in my heart. So each has been capable of telling me when I needed to fix something or something different they saw in me that I didn't see, or when I was working through therapy, or like going down this list. You're going to hear something and it may not resonate, and somebody may give an example. You're like, oh, that's what that means to me, right? It doesn't mean somebody's not always willing. It just means maybe you don't talk about it enough and think about it from an inner perspective and not, well, I would have wanted to, but to her point, if you are healed, everybody should be able to answer these questions. And I'm talking about the audience, not the panel. You should be able to answer these questions without the but, because you should be able to think about a place when you were with somebody and all of these things felt good and you were capable of doing them. Your whole relationship wasn't horrible. So if you did these things, you should be able to give an example. So, or give a lesson you learned and how you could have done, how you do better now. It could be that perspective too, but just not negative. So let's see. The first one is respect in words and actions. Don't belittle and affirm effort. That's how women can do better in intentionally dating. So does that one resonate with anyone? Being able to be respectful with your words and your actions.
Definitely for
You
me.
said no.
Okay, go ahead, Farrell. I
Well,
said no negative, so if it's no, just okay. Go ahead, Farrell.
what I learned was with this relationship, treat each other how you want to be treated. So we both decided, okay, we argue because me and my husband, we can bump heads because we like two lions sometimes. But we early on, I let him know, like, I don't want the mental or verbal abuse. I'm not going for that no more. I understand we're gonna get angry, we're gonna get mad. I can be a handful. I know I'm a brat. So we're gonna go. It's gonna happen. It's natural. We're human. But it's how far are we gonna go to expect to be able to come back? Because if you're gonna cuss me out and call me all kind of bees and hoes and those words, that's not something I can come back from. So are you willing to lose me over a few words? Because that's what it's ultimately going to be. Or can we have a disagreement without taking it too far? And that's just the whole thing. You have to be willing to, because I have to watch what I say sometimes. There's been a couple of times when I wanted to say some things, but then I know if I say those things, where's it going to lead to? Because this is a man. Is he going to lash out? Is he going to call me some names? I don't want to be hit. I don't want to go in another abusive relationship. So it goes both ways. I'm going to treat this man how I want to be treated as well. When we're upset, I don't want to be called out my name, so I'm not going to call him out of his.
That's a really good one.
I'm not going to try to fight him because I don't want him to fight me, because at the end of the day, he's still a man. He's going to outpower me. So that's where that goes to me.
That's a good one. And that's actually one of the things you discussed at the height of marriage that I believe can translate into the dating space. So that was an amazing example. It really was. Because you have to, again, look in the mirror and be honest. She started with, I know when I'm a handful, I could go there. Yeah. I know if I go there, it's a couple things that because of my past, if they're said to me, it's no coming back. So let's talk about this right now and have these discussions. This should be your pillow talk, y'all. Just so you're clear, this should be your pillow talk. Not silly things so that you be with somebody and you never know who they are. So the next one, women can intentionally date better by toning it down and being supportive, but not sacrifice. We should encourage their goals without taking over. So think waiting to excel. You build him up and then he leaves you. Because that was a marriage, though. You should not be doing that in your relationships unless y'all got an LLC with both y'all names on it or something. Yeah. You're not his secretary of it working every day of the week. I would have sang it, but y'all not ready. And neither am I. So that one, does that resonate with anybody?
I think that you can pump a man up even though you're not married or anything. That's what people need.
Yeah, it's support, not sacrifice. Encourage his goals without taking over. Meaning you don't invest in them with your money. Go full in.
That, but you can still pour life into them or whatever.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes that's all somebody really needs. They be feeling like doubtful of themselves, and then you pouring into them. But like you said, you don't got to give them no money or nothing to go in it. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think everybody actually needs it.
I think that one is fun. I think that one is fun, but I had to learn my boundaries with that one. I'm a over giver, and I'm also a strategist. I'm analytical. I love all those things. See, I'm a true nerd at heart. So that's my playground. Hand me a problem and I love to figure it out. But something that I learned in therapy that worked for me, because I knew that I needed to tone down in that space, especially before marriage and even before when I decided I wanted to date, is being capable of listening without letting my brain go into how can I fix this? How can I do whatever? Because sometimes they do just need the encouragement to say, I know you're going to figure this out. I know you could do it, or doing a little bit. Hey, maybe you should do this, and point them in the right direction and allow them to do it for themselves so they continue to operate in their masculinity. And then two, they really feel like, or not feel like, they really have that support. And I did it by myself. I figured this out. Because we wonder why men can't figure some things out or why they're not doing certain things. Well, the truth is their mother probably took over and did everything. And then you come in and you take over and do everything. And then they don't have an opportunity. They never fell off their bike. They never had a lease in their name and had to worry about paying the bills. They never got to do it themselves. And now you're doing the same thing, which can turn into, what is that called when you're angry with the person after they do something, but you're not,
Resentment.
Yes, they have resentment towards you. They really do. I think that most men would rather fail on their own than succeed with you. And it's nothing wrong with it, because you can come back from failing. I failed in business. I failed a class, but it felt good to accomplish it because you took that from them sometimes. And we don't do it on purpose, but I think that that's a good one. Learning how to just be a support, just be a listening ear, and tell them if they're going to go off the cliff. But sometimes, y'all, I think even if we know that it's not going to turn out right, we need to be like Celie on Color Purple and sit there and rock in the chair while Mr. Blunt bowls up the kitchen. And then we just go in and fix it later and say, here you go, boo-boo.
Have to do that a lot. You have to be, that's something you have to do. Now, I don't feel you should do it in a relationship, but in your marriage, that is something you're going to have to do. You will have to sit back and watch the destruction and come with your broom and fix it up. Because sometimes men are just so, they are naturally supposed to be leaders.
Yes.
And they have it there. But again, with the way the world has gone and the things that they've seen, sometimes they miss it. They miss the mark, you know. So you find that man that wants to lead and trying to lead, he's going to make some mistakes sometimes. You do have to be there to uplift them. But these in and out relationships, don't put your all into that.
Right. So like Pharaoh said, come in with the broom in your relationship, in your marriage. Just be the support and be there as many times as they fall if you want to in the relationship part. That's the part that's the takeover. Celie don't get out the chair unless she's married. Just sit in the chair like Celie and watch him. It's entertaining sometimes too. It's quite fun because just like us, we all have the little boy and a little girl inside of us. It's kind of fun sometimes to watch them be so excited about stuff and it don't turn out right. And then they finally get it. It'd be like a kid on Christmas. They'd be so damn happy. So let them do it because that's a part of building up the having confidence in yourself too. So that's a place where we can really do better. The last one in this space, foster femininity and peace. Make dating feel like a partnership, not a competition.
I agree with that.
You agree?
I'll say for me, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I did just say don't be dating out here. I'm not dating anyone physically at this time, but I will say I have in my mind on like what I'm looking for in a partner. And so with that, I'm just wanting to be my best self. So I want to ensure that I'm able to bring peace into the relationship or into whatever I decide to couple up with or decide to choose. Because I feel like that's important. I don't know. I think I kind of went on a tangent, y'all. I got ADHD. Sorry. What was the topic? Did I miss something?
foster femininity and peace.
Oh yes, so yes, I want to bring it in peace, and I want to make sure that I'm also whoever I decide to, they're bringing peace also. So it's just like when they talk about equally yoked, I'm not trying to compete. I'm not about to sit here and try to make you change. No, is this something that I can work with, or is this something that I am going to choose? Because settling is not a thing for me.
Don't do it.
Like Rose was saying, I've definitely felt that because like. I'm what 33 now, and I'm just like, I just told my mom, I'm like, Mom, it's gonna have to be from God, because there's no way I'm going to give myself to anybody out here because I'll be by myself. And being able to have the self-love that you can just be like, not saying you don't want somebody to partner with, but
Absolutely.
to be able to just be comfortable being by yourself is a huge thing. And it's actually really liberating. So if there is any advice, I would say liberate yourself, queen. Keep your crown up. Okay. Don't allow nobody to take you or shift your crown. Love yourself, set your boundaries, and
Yeah,
stand 10 toes down about yourself. And that's what I'll tell anybody, man or woman, stand 10 toes down about yourself.
that is
So,
true. I agree with that one. I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree
I
with that.
agree 900%. Fostering femininity is the one that stands out. And I feel really bad for Black women. I do. Because as a piggyback off the previous one, our culture and our race has been through the most. And in doing that, we have been put in a position to lead, to be the head of household, to take over, to be the problem solver. And it was not the Black man's fault. It wasn't. It was from slavery. It moved from slavery to Jim Crow. It moved from Jim Crow. If you stayed anywhere near California, it was the worst here when we got into the 80s with drugs. They continue to take our Black man away. Now, I understand that there will be some people, especially my brother, who says, well, the Black man should have never got on drugs and did these things and then it wouldn't have happened. I truly understand that. But on the heels of what they went through in those eras, I can't imagine what it's like, because I know when we watch movies about what it's like, a lot of us fall into tears crying. So imagine that being your life every day, that you're trying and you're continuously being pushed down, that you're trying and some people who don't like you can come burn up your house and take everything away, and you have your wife and your children looking at you. But at that time, they knew what they were doing. They flipped our households upside down. So we had to then start working, make sure we took care of the kids, and do all of these things and protect. You're never going to be able to take care of a household without protecting, providing, covering, all of those things that classify as the male's job. So when you consider where we are now, females are getting married a lot later. Through that, people own homes, they have cars, they didn't have kids, they have their career, they done been to school. You've lived a life, baby, before you got married. You have lived a life. So now you're trying to take this person who has only been able to depend on themselves for all of this time and loved it, didn't even complain. You traveled, you did all of these things, you've been exposed. It's not too much that this man could come in and offer it as brand new. But what he can offer as brand new is the equally yoked part, those values. But then social media is telling them that ain't enough. You need to have a better job. You need to make more money than her. You need to be able to do this, that, and the other. My advice in that space is, in order for us to be feminine, and what worked for me in being feminine in my marriage is that my husband allowed me to be a boss at work and come home and understand that it probably wouldn't automatically switch off, but that I would never do anything out of disrespect. And if there was an issue, I voluntarily sat down with him quite often and said, hey, is it anything I'm doing that I could work on? Because if you've been this way for 35 years, that's all you know how to be. You don't know how to be something else. And I don't know what is not good to you. So open that line of communication, especially if you know you're hyper independent, I think is what they call it now. That's supposed to be if you own a home or a business or have a degree. Again, the titles they could put on us as Black men and Black women are crazy, because that's a go-getter. That's a power couple in another space. But in our space, it's used against us and it doesn't work. So for me, that one worked the best in my marriage because I was able to surrender. And I was confident and capable of surrendering and knowing when to jump in. But I dated him for a while first. So he actually felt like my best friend. That's the area we've actually not really had an issue. So that worked for me. It wasn't a competition for me. Did people outside the family try to make it a competition? Yes. That'll be in part 4. Got to be careful, child. So we have 2 more parts. And the next one is the balance, meeting each other's needs. So this is going to say what men need. And then what I want you to do is each of you tell me one area that resonates with you and how it would be better if a man showed up in this space, how it would help you as a woman. So a man needs respect, admiration, and remember, this is an intentional dating. So respond in intentional dating space. Respect, admiration, trust, and loyalty. I'll start at the top. No, I'll start at the bottom. We haven't heard Des in a while. So Des, one of those speak out to you, or all, and how a man can show up to make you feel balanced and better when you're dating.
I don't know if I'm the necessary right person to ask because I don't give them a shot. I said 7 days. So it really be over.
But in those 7 days, it's okay. So in those 7 days,
what
it's
happens
something
is
that's not
conversation.
okay.
The conversation is usually failing in the beginning.
Oh.
And it's usually telling
Is it that they're not showing respect? You don't feel like you could trust them? What's been the most to pop out in those conversations?
They're not necessarily disrespectful. They're very upfront and honest about what they are looking for.
Okay.
It just doesn't meet up to my needs.
Okay.
And as far as just randoms, I have more random men who is not trying to get my draws, that is more there for me in the ways that I would prefer my quote unquote, I'm trying to date a guy to be there for me. Mainly just communication though. I think that in getting to know people, we lie so much and we are afraid of them rejecting us that we're not getting to the nitty gritty fast enough. And the only thing that you have the ability to say is how you want to have sex in the beginning. And I think if we can stop that in the beginning, like get to know me a little bit. Ask me what's my favorite color. It's just really simple. I mean, because it's like, well,
so you can't even get to these things. I've heard that from a couple of people.
Tell you, I can't. It is hard for me to answer that because I can't get past the first 7 days to get
the sexual talk. Wow.
To get to know you and to see like how you want to get to know me. You get my phone number and all you do is text me and you never meet up with me. And then when you meet up with me, you trying to meet up with me at your house or my house. There's no house dating.
Yeah.
There's no house dating.
That's not a date.
That's not a date. That's not even for the idea that you don't want to spend any money because you don't know if you're going to like me.
You could do plenty of things without money.
Meet me at the park.
Right.
We can do Dutch on a cup of coffee. I don't understand. What are they looking for?
Right.
What are the men looking for? Because as me as a woman trying to become a wife, as listening to you
but
guys,
it says this is what it says. Wait, not to cut you off, Des, but you just asked. It says men need. This is what's telling us what to do for men. That's why it says men need respect, admiration, trust, and loyalty. How can we give them those things?
How can you give it to them when they're not
showing up to get it?
Yeah,
I literally made this man a dinner, told him to pick it up at my job, and he never showed up, as if to say my food was free. I didn't make you the dinner for any other reason, but you looked hungry. You told me how much you were working. I wasn't finna send you no food. I wasn't finna buy you no food, but I could show you my
So I tried to show you respect and admiration and you rejected it.
So for me, I can't get past day 7. What you looking for, baby?
And
Okay.
in day 7, you don't even tell me your full blown name, but yet you want me to drop my drawers. That
Girl,
does
I'm
not
done.
go
Pharaoh,
together.
what was you trying to say? I'm done. I'm done.
I
That's
have
crazy.
I have a friend that sounds just like you, Dan. She is like
That's
dumb.
crazy.
She's like, I don't get it. And then the thing with her was she's dated, men her age. She's tried to date the men a little bit younger. It's the same thing. And that 7 days, it's real. Because she's like, what happened to let's go grab a bite to eat? Let's go to a movie. What happened to the conversations over the phone for 2-3 hours? Or
Right.
now it's a text, what you doing every day, every 5 minutes. And that's it, As soon as you say, oh, can I come over? No. Why do you want to come over? Let's talk first. What happened to meet me here? I feel bad now for a lot of the ladies trying to date because it's ruined. It's like a infested pool. It's just no one has the right intentions. And it goes back and forth. It's the men and the women at some point. You got women out here expecting a man.
Wait, the women gonna be next. The women gonna be next.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah,
I'll stop.
the women gonna be next.
You have the men. You have men expecting women to just sleep with them immediately. Like, come on, bro.
So what we need, it sounds like, so just tell me if we can cut to the chase with this one. What the women need that are dating is for the opportunity for intentional dating is more intentional dates.
Right. You need the
Boom.
men to want more.
Damn.
The
Man
woman
told
can't
me
date
I am
intentionally
intentional.
if the man don't want more.
Right.
If I meet this man on Friday and by Monday you're trying to come to my house and spend the night, it's probably not gonna go anywhere. It's probably not. We don't even know each other yet.
I'm never
can
giving
we
you
go?
my address, sir.
How can we go anywhere?
The man said, I'm intentional. I date intentionally. I said, yeah.
He
I got
told you that?
excited. Yes, girl, I got so excited. I was like, what? You date intentionally? You are intentional. You ain't playing. You want to get to know me. And he was hyped the first week or two. Never made it to my job because I do nails. I feel like my job is the perfect place to
Right.
meet me. And I've had men come and sow seed and get a pedicure and just like they're not giving me anything, but
Right.
I'm
And that's a
giving you a
quality time
service.
type of thing. That's a cute idea.
Right. So I'm like, hey, let's get this pedicure. Let's get some self-love involved. Let me encourage you a little bit, talk to you while I do your feet. And I'm talking and I'm getting to know you and literally this man said, oh, I've been looking at you for a whole 2 years and yet you never was bold enough to talk to me. And now that you have talked to me, you haven't even been bold enough to meet me because I said I don't like riding in the car with loud music.
Des, I'm done.
If I'm in the car
I'm
with
done.
you, why would the music be loud? Shouldn't we?
We're supposed to be talking.
This is where I'm at.
Kai, go ahead. We got to get through the rest of this show. Blood of Jesus.
Honestly, I don't know because I'm kind of quick, like Des a little bit when it comes down to. I'm quick to cut a man off. Like I don't even
Good.
play, and they don't even get my number. Like if they shoot me in the DMs and I respond, be lucky, because I'm not even. Anyway, I would think it. I think if they were intentional, I think that will help a lot. Because I feel like a lot of them they'll take you on dates. They'll take you on dates and still play with you. So it's
Yes.
just like so I'm big on not wasting my time either, Des. So you said 7 days. I say 5 hours. No, let
Babe,
me just
what
playing.
I tell you
I'll say
is that fast. It's that fast.
like literally for
I said
real.
I want to
Like
go to Papa Do's. That man said in 6 weeks, 6 months.
oh
He said he
no,
had the
because you're
same.
playing.
And I
Right.
You're
thought it was funny.
playing.
I really thought he was
I don't
joking, but he was very serious. I never made it to Papa Do's with him. But you got to
oh,
know that I can afford Papa Do's, brother. If I ask you to take me,
See, I'm like Kai. When
that's
I
it.
did the intentional dating, I did the same thing. You didn't get my phone number. That was number one, so we can communicate through social media. If I went and met with you, if any part of that conversation, I didn't even want to go for a meal for the first date because what if something happens while you bringing my food? Like I'm gonna get up and
Hmm.
walk out. It was that interesting, and I was never rude, I mean, obviously that doesn't feel good, but I still was like, oh, you know what? You already said
This ain't
you
gonna
don't
work.
want three of the things that I want that I was very clear about before I got here. So technically, I didn't waste your time. You wasted my time because why am I here? And I would get up and leave, and that would be the end of it. And I wouldn't feel nothing. And the whole, hey, I was hoping we could get together and blah. You already just told me that either one, you don't listen, or two, you don't give a shit what I just said. So no, you wasted my time. It's a no for me. Rose, you've been quiet. What about you before we move into women and then wrap it up with practical?
I've been listening to everybody. I think with me, I think they need to learn how to communicate more, but you guys been saying the same thing, like communicate more in court. They don't know how to do that now. So you need to learn how to court. But that was one of my things too. Like, you don't have to take me out on a fancy date or all that, because I can do that with myself or with my friends. We can go for coffee. We can go to Starbucks. We can go to the beach. We can have a picnic. It's a lot of stuff we can do that's free, where we can get to know each other before we know. That's what it is, to get to know the person, to see if you want to date them. You don't got to spend no money on me. Like, let's do it like that first. I agree with everything that y'all was saying. That's why I was quiet, because that's exactly how I feel. Just communicate more, communicate and tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't say, and that's what I did learn. A lot of people, men are saying that a lot of men listen to what women say. You be like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And be that person just to get you, but it was all they were a fraud. So I've learned, they said, don't tell a man what you want. See how they are, and that will come along with dating. See what they like or how they'll treat you. Then you'll know if that's the kind of man that's on your list. Don't tell them nothing.
You know what, ladies? I when I met my husband, I loved the honesty that he brought. He was up front with me about everything. There was a point where he's like, I'm not ready for a relationship. I said, oh, okay, cool. You gave me the opportunity to choose how I want to deal with you.
Right.
You understand that part? He was like, okay. So with that being said, I was like, okay, so now I know how I need to move.
So it gained your respect and your trust right from the beginning. Okay.
Right. And when we would go out, we both went out. I'm gonna say probably the first 4 or 5 months we went Dutch, because for one,
love it.
We were just dating. We were just trying to get to know each other. And that's what drew me to him, because he was like, I don't need you. I don't need your money. I don't need none of that. We're friends. And he took that serious with me, and that was different. So I'm like, wait, you're not, chasing me? Wait a minute, but I like that. So the first 6 months we were getting to know each other. We were dating, was Dutch, and then finally, once we got to a place where it's like, okay, as he'll say, she cool. I like her. Then it became the back and forth. We're going out. Now he's taking me out. Now we're doing things. Now he's getting me little gifts. We're doing the more intentional dating, and I like that about him, because he was just honest. I hadn't received that. I never had that before. Everybody else was just trying to move. I had a guy trying to move in with me after a few dates.
Girl.
Move in, sir. Wait, I have children. No. So that's, I like that. He didn't rush. We didn't rush into a relationship. He was honest. And he wasn't leading me on. I wasn't dealing with a bunch of different women. He was just upfront about what he wanted at that time. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I
just
love
be
it.
upfront. Be upfront about what you want. The problem now
no matter what it is.
No matter what it is. And that gave me the option. He was such a good dude.
Stop taking people's options.
Yeah. You gave me the option to say, okay, now I know how to move with you in a certain way now.
No, keep going.
No, we're just, we moved as friends. I like that, because even now, when things are tough or things are going on, we have our friendship to go back on, and our friendship helps that bond. The guys out here, I wouldn't go. I'll be honest. I'm not going back in the dating pool. I'm good.
I'm not.
I'm good.
I don't think that I would survive. I would be on Snapped.
No,
with all of the shit y'all be talking about.
Family, listen. I'm not going back in the dating pool. If this don't work with bro, hey, I don't know. Because
I don't have it in me.
I don't got it no more. I'm too old. Menopause, perimenopause, all that stuff. I'm not doing this. I'm
I
not
don't
playing
got
these
it.
games. I don't have time. I'll run somebody's son over. I ain't doing this.
Child. So that moves into the woman space. So for women, therapists, analytics, all of these things is where I'm getting this stuff from. They are not my personal ones, obviously, because I've been called out on a few. Women need love, they need security, they need consistency, and they need protection. So my person that I married, when I dated my husband, when we were in our dating space, I would say that was the most perfect relationship I have ever been in my entire life. And it was because I felt loved like no other. He spoke my love language. For the first time, I was with somebody that didn't tell me the things that I liked. Let's say my favorite things are very, very minute. But if you see what I buy for myself, it doesn't match. I get that. But my favorite things are like lip gloss, gum, those type of things. So he would literally buy me those things in abundance and show up with that with flowers versus chocolate and flowers. That small thing made me feel loved because from my background and from different things, I came from a space where I felt like me not being heard was me not being loved. So he filled that space for me right away with those small things. He knew that my favorite pajamas wasn't a lingerie. It was a pajamas that probably should have been on Mama's Family, but they were my favorite pajamas. So he loved to see me in those pajamas. I don't really know if he did, but I think maybe he liked how happy I was and comfortable. Best conversations, could lay down, do those things. That's love. The security piece. Y'all, I didn't know what my husband made as far as money until we got engaged. When that man showed me what he made from the time we was together until the time we got engaged, I fell in love with him all over again. I had no idea that he did not make the type of money that I made because of how he showed up for me when it was time to show up. I can't even explain to you what it felt like in that moment. Obviously, I appreciated it all before I'm that way. He paid for everything all the time, except for like his birthday, because he had a hard time being a receiver. So for me, that gave me security in knowing, especially at that moment, that no matter what, I don't know how he turned 1 + 1 into 100, but I'm okay knowing I will always be secure and safe if anything ever happens. He got me. His consistency, that man was working the graveyard shift, and he would make it to our dates every other weekend when he didn't have his kids. He was consistent with that. He filled his time, his open time, with thinking of me first. That was being consistent, an effort, getting up and doing something. When he came around, we actually had quality time together. We watched movies, we played music, we did different things, to y'all's point, that was still felt like courting. I felt like I courted him the whole time until he proposed. I did not know that he was going to propose. But something in my soul told me on that day that it was going to happen. I knew it. So I made sure to do my edges.
Yes, honey.
Hollering.
Yes.
And then protection. It's going to sound crazy, probably TMI. However, I did not want to have a child at a certain point because I was finishing some things up. And again, I felt like I'm almost so close to the finish line. I know I already have sex first. Let me cross the line with this baby and then get pregnant. And he was okay with that space. So it's never been an issue using a condom, not doing things that I didn't want to do, that I wanted to save sexually until I got married, even though he was already my person. He was still okay with and kind of excited about, when I get married to this girl, this is what I'm gonna get on that side. All of those things made me feel comfortable to marry him. They made me feel very safe. I never once questioned if I wanted to marry him during our dating stage or when he proposed. That is what a woman wants. All of those things were small, everyday things. The big things are beautiful and great, but what about every day? If you don't got it to take me to Paris, Are you okay with taking me to KFC? And he was comfortable, and y'all know that, with taking me to KFC when I would be like, I don't want to go to that steakhouse. I just want to go to KFC for our date. And he would just laugh and be like, come on, girl. And wouldn't even trip. Instead of, I paid reservations, instead of his ego being bruised, it was more like, that's what the girl like. I already know this is her. So that don't surprise me. Those things make me feel comfortable. How do y'all feel about these particular things?
I mean,
They were
to be
love, security, consistency, and protection.
My biggest one for me was the protection.
Yes. Because we from the hood. No, I'm just
Yeah, that
we are
part.
from the hood, but
And I dated some men that they thought they was from the hood. Anyway, well, that's another story. That's another. But
that's gonna be in part 5.
Right. What for me, it was no one could do anything to me. No one could say anything. No one could do anything disrespectful to me. He had no problem defending me, even when I was wrong. He would still have my back because I got a big mouth. You know, he wrote it out. That's what I love. And this one is with the respect. This is probably gonna, you get ladies are probably gonna be like, she crazy. He had a certain way of demanding respect from me that I wanted to give.
Yes.
That I hadn't done with others because you were a poop butt, you know?
Right.
And that's the nice word because we on air.
Right.
But he had a way of demanding respect that made me feel protected, you know? And it goes back to what I said earlier about how I'm not going to talk to you this way, so you don't talk to me that way. That was that part with him. He's like, okay, I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm going to protect you, but I demand mine. And that made me feel secure, and it made me feel loved, because it was like, I don't want to be with no woman that's going to cuss me out and talk all crazy to me.
You cared enough to stop me.
Yeah. You cared enough to show me, you gave me reasons not to even show you that side. Yep. Because you showed me, you did manly things. You were a man. So
ain't that so sexy? It make you buck. Well, I'll be like, you know, I'm a whole G, but I'm gonna listen to you.
Let me text him and tell him to head on home, baby. Head on home. I want to talk to you.
Right. Immediately. Immediately.
You, but that's what it was for me. Financially, we both had our ups and downs. When I was down, that was the other thing. I never had anyone to really be there and support me and have my back. And that was something that I loved. And when I was down, he's right there. And it made me be like, okay, when he had a moment, I got you, baby, till you get back on your feet. My husband lost his son right after we got married. Yeah. Literally a few months later, his son passed away. That was a big thing for him. He was depressed. He was down. I had to carry my family. But the only reason that made me want to was because when I lost my brother, guess who was right there pulling me up? You know, so you got to find that person, your person.
Invest, harvest, plant and harvest.
Yes, Des, he's coming. Kai, he's coming. Your person is there. Everyone has a person. Rose, do you still want a person? Because I know you just like,
We can't hear you, Rose.
I do. I know what I'm not going to deal with no more, but I still live in the fairy tale world. I'm not bitter.
Don't stop. You know, don't stop. I will say this, though. Sometimes our fairy tale can be a little bit unconventional sometimes.
Right.
It could be.
Or it's reality. It just looks like this instead of like this, and you missing it. It's sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I still want to. It's just I'm not in a rush. But if it comes to, I still in my prayers every day, I ask God for me to prepare me for my husband.
There it is. That's the right prayer. Prepare me for what I'm asking for.
And
because a lot of people are not ready.
Ask him to help you see it when it comes. Because sometimes
I do. You really probably gonna have to come down and be like, "This is him, girl."
Yeah, tap me on the shoulder. Because honestly, I didn't. Now, Asia, you know, I did not. I had a rough time with the ex, and I had no intention.
Desire. None.
I was gonna be a little tata till the wheels fall off. Okay. I had no intentions of ever going back into a relationship no more from what I had previously been through. And I think God showed me in a different way, because he brought this person. See, God had to send me somebody.
But he had to send a friend first.
Yeah, he had to send somebody that I can trust first, and somebody that I can actually talk to and build with, because if you showed me an inch of something, I would run over you and it'd be a mess. Now we in some crazy.
Oh yeah, she's an Aquarius like that, like us, y'all.
Yeah.
When we get in that zone, we're predators. We can tell exactly where we can run you over, and then we're not going to respect you. And it's kind of a game.
Yeah. So once I found God had to send me that person, because I told him, I'm like, Lord, I'm tired. I'm either going, we either got to settle down and get me right.
Truth is, I'm tired.
The truth is, either that or I was going to be in the streets till the wheel fall off, you know? And I was tired. I didn't want to be in the streets no more. I was tired of people's sons. They was getting on my nerves.
That part.
So real. That is so real.
I didn't want it no more. People's sons is crazy. So that made me really want to talk to my boys more, like, listen.
Right.
Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, but yeah. And I used to think, well, these women are raising their sons right. Some of it is just pure plain a choice and stupidity.
You out there competing with the wrong people.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
social media, your homeboys, they don't want shit. Stop competing with them. Why don't people compare up instead of comparing down?
Yeah,
compare yourself to somebody who is amazing versus at least I'm doing better than this one. He only take care of 3 of his kids. I take care of all of mine. How about the answer is y'all should stop having so many kids without being with the woman? Like, you really right here and below to keep making you feel up here. I don't want a man that feels amazing. I want a man that is amazing. And you know that, and you're not intimidated by life. So to wrap this up, there are 2 more things, and then we are out. Not whole sections in this last section. So practical dating practices that lead to marriage. Build emotionally, share values, life goals, and vision. The lady said you can't even get to that part. Ro gave a really good example of stop giving roadmaps. But I will say a good way to do that is maybe to life goals. How do you share share values? Start with values. If your values make somebody else uncomfortable, that's immediately weeding them out, wouldn't you say? Because if they're not willing to talk about those core things, that immediately lets you know you should be able to share those. That's your foundation, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I learned too? People used to say, well, watch how a man treats his mom. I agree with that one too, but I'm gonna give you guys something else. This is a shocker. Watch how that man speaks on the mother of his children. That's
the one, because that last one is some bullshit. That's the one. Because my husband can't stand them bitches, but guess what? I never heard him say, bitch. Yes, and I used to be in the background like, I'm finna fuck this. He'd be like, little Chihuahua, calm down. Yeah.
I get along with.
Didn't wish him no ill will.
Nope. He has never spoken ill of either of the girls. And one of the girls, we have the child, you know,
right.
He still doesn't speak ill of her. He's like, I shouldn't have done this.
Right.
You pay attention to that.
That's the one.
That's a big one. You know, like you said, the mom thing could be
that's some bullshit.
Yeah, I got a story
way
about
too many
mama.
unhealthy relationships. I'm telling y'all, that's part 4.
I got a story to tell about that now.
Okay, baby, you're gonna come back, and me and you gonna tag team it because Auntie is hurt. Is child. Listen. So the last one before we exit. So everybody will do the last one, and then we will be out. So. Surround yourself with accountability. Your friends, your mentors, church, family, siblings, who you spend your time with is really important for accountability. So, since we literally just talked about that, it will be accountability, and family is going to actually be part 4. But surround yourself with accountability. So everybody give a statement for that, and then we will be out in whatever way it means to you. And we'll start at the top and work our way down.
When you know you wrong and you go talk to your friend, if she co-signs that bullshit,
That ain't your friend.
that ain't your friend. You know you wrong. You know you wrong. Don't be around nobody that's just gonna sit there and co-sign your shit. Now, don't get me wrong. You and your bestie sometimes we delusional together, of course. But when it's
But at least we know now. We
Yeah.
call it out. Let me live in my delusion.
right,
A little bit.
Tell me later.
you know, it could be it, but when it's something serious and you got friends or people just agreeing with your shit, don't do that. Those are not people you need. You're not gonna grow. You
They're
gotta
probably
hear the
not your friends.
Right. You gotta hear the truth. I would
Yeah.
rather you tell me, no, you messed up, than to sit here like, yeah, girl, do that. No, don't listen to that. Don't listen.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
What about you, Miss Kai?
The best way I hold myself accountable is basically a mirror. Like if somebody treated me how I treated you, just the golden rule, I guess. You know, hate to be cliche, but I just try to operate in a way that doesn't hurt nobody. I truly, genuinely don't want nobody hurt. So so if I'm out here doing crazy, I feel like I'm gonna get that back. So I just try to just operate in the best manner that I can. Now I'm not perfect because I've done things.
Right.
However, I will say it is definitely important about who you confide in and where their headspace is too. So it's really like a echo chamber at this point because I agree with everybody. But yeah, I definitely say being able to sit with yourself and be like, all right, so I know I'm only wanting to date this one man, but there's another guy I like. Now, are we going to be honest about that? Are we going to just move, recklessly? But then it's like, well, how do you want to be treated? If somebody is interested in you, and are you being honest about if you like them or not? Yes or
Right.
no? And then if how you moving, is that something you want him to do to you? No. So don't do that. It's simple.
Don't do that.
So that's the best way to hold myself accountable is just to see how I want to be treat others how I want to be treated.
Mhm. Des, well,
I'm
we
very
know you
petty.
surround yourself with accountability because
Look, I'm very petty. And with that being said, I'm very accountable. And I'm so accountable that I said in this conversation, I am no longer looking for a relationship or marriage. That is
Mm.
how accountable I am. And you can keep your penis. I don't even want the booty call. I
Mm.
am really just good. What I want
Mm.
is to be the example of
Okay.
what I'm looking for. And until that day comes, I'm good right here by myself because I am a true believer in any issue I have with you, I have with myself. So looking in the mirror is a very good answer. Very, very good answer. So what I have realized today is I need to look in the mirror a little bit more because half of the things you said I am not willing to bend. I'm not. And I know that you're the man and you're the lead, but I don't trust you to lead yourself nowhere, let alone me. So until I can get to a healing space of working together with someone, I'm gonna continue to work on my business and let that grow. That's what I'm
Mm.
saying.
Whoa. Okay,
That was
Rose.
powerful.
Um, Holding myself accountable. I'll go back piggy off of what she said.
Well, it's surrounding yourself with accountability. Watch the friends you keep, the mentors, church, family, those type of people, and holding yourself accountable. So it's both.
Okay, so I think I have a good circle of friends. We hold each other accountable, so I can't even say nothing bad about that. We're not the type that if I did something wrong or they did something wrong, I'm gonna be like, because you're my best friend, you're right. We not like that. We gonna be like, bitch, you wrong. Like, yeah, you know you wrong. You my best friend, but you wrong. Period. Point blank. So I don't have a problem with that. As far as a relationship, I would say just like she said, treat people how you want to be treated. And most of the time, I am a fair person. So I'm like that anyways. But if I have done something, I'm learning to let a person tell me something and be like, I apologize if I made you feel that way. Instead of be Amir, go away. You want I want orange chicken. Okay. You made me forget my train of thoughts what I was saying.
You have good people surrounding you. We hold each other accountable.
Oh yeah, so oh no, I'm learning if somebody says that I made them feel a way to take it in and apologize for it. I still may not feel that I said nothing wrong, but I'm learning to apologize and be like, I'm sorry if I made you feel that way. I'll try to do better the next time. But I'm still a work in progress on that one. But I'm trying.
I'm a work in progress on that one too, because listen, one of my things in therapy that stood out was surrounding yourself with accountability, right? My therapist, my evangelist, my sisters, my friends, my everybody. When I call, all of them can tell you, when I call and tell a story that I need advice from, especially in my marriage, I told from beginning to end, and I will pause and be like, okay, so let me just tell you. When I said this, yeah, in the back of my head, I knew my head could get knocked between the washer and the dryer because I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. I said it with all the vengeance and all the venom. Like it wasn't just no, I said it with all the bass and all the hood in my voice. So let me just tell you, I was on some bullshit. Yeah, you got to tell the whole story. That way a person can give the feedback. And you can't throw rocks and hide your hands like we do as women. So I fully surround myself with people that keep me accountable and they know how I am. I'm pretty consistent.
Clutch your pearls, Des. Clutch your pearls.
Girl.
Now I
but
know. Now,
one of the things.
Des an Aquarius too?
No, me,
I'm
you,
a
and
Taurus,
Ro.
baby.
She's a Taurus.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, honey.
Yes, she's a Taurus. Because
Ooh,
y'all know I tell the story. I make sure they got enough time to hear the story. Farrell has had to come over and I have had to feed her, put her up on the couch with a blanket and a nice drink because I just needed to tell her one story, but I needed to tell her the whole story. So I need you to pay attention, focus, and take good notes. So you can tell me where I fucked up. But here's the thing. You also need to know as women, and again, this is surrounding yourself with good people. I was also told to keep the peace, you actually apologize too soon. Some of the things that you need to pay attention to is just like at work. Did you fire them or did they quit? Meaning, did you hurt their feelings or did you acknowledging what they did and bringing it to the forefront and being comfortable talk about it hurt their feelings? Because what I'm not going to do is keep apologizing because you don't like how I responded to something or something like that. So what Rose said, yeah, I'm still a work in progress because I actually apologize because I just want you to shut the entire fuck up. And I can apologize wholeheartedly thinking, okay, I'm sorry that you feel that way because I am, but knowing in my head, but I mean exactly what I said. And see, that's the part that gets me in trouble because I apologize and I'd be like, I apologize that you feel that way, but I still mean what I said. That's not going to change it. Maybe I should have said it different. I can apologize for that, but it doesn't change. I mean what I said. So I surround myself with good people because let me tell you, I'll do that over. Did you ask for baked chicken or fried chicken? Because here's the thing, I don't like to be called a liar. And in my head, that means liar. So I surround myself with good people because they're teaching me how to work on that. Because I just like everything to be clear. Everything ain't always clear. Sometimes just let the shit go. So yes, surround yourself with good people that keep you accountable and they know how your brain works. So while you feed them a bullshit lie, they tell you, girl, yeah, you know that ain't how you felt when you did that.
That ain't how you said that. I don't even.
Girl, that ain't how you said that. You know you didn't. Tell me how you really said it.
Look, I don't even play that part no more. I start the conversation on, well, you know how I said it, right? Okay. Yeah. But I meant it. How should I have said that nicer? Because I still mean it.
And how do I double back and fix this shit?
Because
I already said it.
Yeah.
I already did it. I should have took a pause. Now I hold people accountable. I say,
yes.
Can we stick a pin right there and I'll be right back? And then I go, dear diary, let me write this out and read it. Nope, don't use that word. Don't do it. Yeah, apply all of those things. But being held accountable, it doesn't feel good, but it feels good. You may not feel good hearing it, but you feel loved, you feel seen, you feel all of these things because these people are trying to help you. So in your surrounding yourself with accountability, make sure you trust your accountability people, because if you don't, you're going to reject everything that they say, even when they can be saying good things. So we will end here. Everybody give your social media handle if you want everybody to follow you. And we will be back here on Thursday with part 3, which is hold on. Part 3 is modern red flags versus biblical standards. So that's that work then, but what about today? So some of these things will hopefully help us blend holding on to our authentic values and morals and incorporating them in today's reality. Because I know that God said, I am not of the world. And you're right, Jesus. You are not, but I am. So how can I navigate this space and still stay close to you spiritually, my authentic self, and this goal that I want? So that's what Thursday will be about. So start at the top with your social media handles so everyone can follow you guys.
Well, mine is Mrs. Howard _310. That's my Instagram.
That's quick and easy.
Quick and easy.
And mine handle is Piece of Kai. Kai spelled Kye. You can find me on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the things. TikTok, especially TikTok.
Especially. It's just the way it is in her description, guys. Right there in the parentheses. Okay. Des.
I'm Delicious Designs on everything, and that is Delicious. So that's Delicious with 2 E's. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Lemonade. Hey, I mean, pretty much everything. And I'm delicious everywhere, okay? Everywhere. It's delicious.
Yes, honey. Yes.
Period.
And twin, Rose.
Find me on Talk to Rose on YouTube. I guess I don't know what my name is on TikTok. I'm on there.
It's Rose.
Oh, look, I'm like, I don't know what it is on there. You can find me there too.
Thank you, sister. Oh my gosh, you guys are something else. Okay, so in closing, stop practicing marriage when you should be practicing discernment. Get into your prayer closet. Bring out your prayer cloth. For those of you that use spiritual beads, get out there and touch some damn grass. Y'all focused on the next date being at Cheesecake Factory when you need to know that the red flag is that he's on America's Most Wanted. But that's okay. I mean, we're gonna work through it. So
he got 27 abuse charges, domestic violence charges, and you worried about these. Your life is in danger, sis.
And he can't be around little Timmy. But I'm just saying, everybody be careful out there. Life is not a joke. And be careful of women too, man, because y'all see these women is popping out. They're not playing. Be careful. Protect yourself. The date is not that important. Who you're going to end up with is extremely important. And who you share any of your space and time with. That's why you should date intentionally and get them out of there quick if they don't work. So we will see you again on Thursday at 7 p.m. And I gave the topic already. So follow me on all the social media platforms and visit Amazon for my melanin coloring books and planners. Have a nice night. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.